Okay guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to take a look at an old idea I had, which was this little module that I worked on. I don't have any built up ones anymore, but yeah, I did this back in 2022, like late 2021, early 2022, where it was a plug and play module to do the 99 to 02 trucks with the '03 to '07 instrument cluster. So basically a plug and play module to swap out which instrument cluster was in the truck, because they're not just wired differently, there's some missing signals and commands. This is an old idea. I kind of put it on the back burner as I realized I wasn't really ready for this project back then. I made some mistakes in this board, and so yeah, it just never got released, got pushed to the back burner, but I've had some motivation here recently to kind of revisit the project. I'm still kind of in the development phase here of getting the firmware written, getting it doing what it's supposed to do, and then I'll kind of be ready to sell some of these. And yeah, so for today we got a new board. This is the latest version of it, and it was sponsored by Next PCB. So yeah, we have a sponsor today of Next PCB. I know we've been using a different PCB service for a while, but they reached out, wanted to sponsor a video, and I thought this would be a good project for it. So let's first take a look at today's sponsor, Next PCB, and then we can kind of get into this and take a look at the board. It's actually got a lot on the board, so I don't think I'm going to do an assembly video today. I'm just going to kind of like show what's going on, give you kind of the block diagram of it, and then kind of just give you an example of it running, of where I'm at on this project, and give you an idea of how much longer it should take to get it kind of at least ready to test in a vehicle. I'm gonna have to do some in-vehicle testing before I can actually sell any of these. So yeah, I mean, we're making progress on this idea. I know there was a lot of excitement when I talked about it back in 2022, so I was reluctant to say anything more until I was actually ready to do it. So yeah, I feel like I'm ready to do this project again. So let's take a look at today's sponsor. Okay, so today's sponsor is Next PCB. It's been a while since they've sponsored a video, so let's just reintroduce them all together. They've changed their logo and all of that since then. So Next PCB is a board house that you can get your circuit boards manufactured. You can get the components put on them. They do component sourcing, and pretty much like it can be a turnkey operation for getting your going from idea to circuit board. And yeah, so you get your flex PCBs and all of that done there. One of the things I want to kind of mention here about them is they do sponsor KiCad pretty heavily. So they've donated a significant amount of money to the KiCad project, which KiCad is the design software that I'm always using to design circuit boards. So unlike other manufacturers that may have their own locked in ecosystem, they actually sponsor an open source project that you can use with any board house. So definitely give Next PCB a try. And one of the other things you can do is you can upload your projects to the open source community that they do, and you can get coupons that will that you can apply towards your purchase. You know, they'll kind of sponsor your thing. You get boards sent, all sorts of other stuff. So definitely check out their KiCad projects community, and this is all done by Next PCB themselves. So kind of a cool way that you might be able to get one of your ideas up and running and save some money on it. If not, just get in the link in the description and you can use the coupon code to order from Next PCB. Okay, so let's take a moment and look at the 3 different versions of this that I've kind of worked on over the years. So this one's from 2022, and basically what it was an Arduino with the XC68HC58 module that I sell, kind of just like integrated into the board there, a linear power regulator, and just some reverse polarity protection and all of that. So that's kind of the gist of this one. I did have like 1 or 2 routing errors on here that I had to cut and jump. And we did test it in a vehicle, and it seemed to like kind of work if I remember right. It's just been so long, I don't really recall. I think we tested it in a vehicle, like not me personally, I mailed it to somebody, they tested it, and if I remember correctly, it worked, but I'm not really sure. So I only put together one of these and I mailed it and never got it back, which was fine. I didn't expect to get it back. I kind of realized I wasn't ready for this project at the time. And so it got set on the back burner. So yeah, then came this, which here's a assembled one of it. And this one was a little bit different. It wasn't just plug and play in the vehicle. So you had to, you would have had to wire it in. So I kind of decided I didn't like that after I made it and kind of tested it out. It seemed to have worked right, but I didn't like the idea of having to modify the truck to use it, of, you know, this was plug and play. This is actually born out of a project I was working on for HP tuners. I was under the impression all was well. We were going to do something for the new ECU they were releasing, and then they decided they wanted to do the whole thing internal. So I guess I just didn't want to fund an open source project because I wanted to do that project completely open source. And so it was a J1850 variable pulse width to CAN bus converter. Now we have the plug and play version of it, where it has the main connector from the truck plugs in, and then this is a DB25, or sorry, a DB15, which that DB15 will have the right connector on the other end of it. I went with a DB15 instead of, see, what I did on the original was it had the connector from the truck would go in, and then this was actually wires were there, and then you'd solder the wires in. You know, since then got a little better and, you know, learned that it's easier to put connectors in than to poke wires in the board. So that's kind of one of the main changes there. This one no longer uses the, you know, this kind of XC68 HC58 module. It's closer to this module that I sell, the transceiver. So you kind of can see that it's got the comparator and then all of that circuitry here. It is adjusted to work at 3.3 volts instead of 5 volts. This is a 5 volt module. So yeah, that's kind of the general overview of it. Okay, and here is a fully assembled board with all of the components on it. Yeah, I need to clean off some flux, but other than that, yeah, we're looking good here. I've already tested it, it does work, so let's get it in a housing and kind of start going out, like actually using it. This is just a little 3D printed base. I still need to design and print the clamshell that then goes over it. It looks like before I actually release it, I need to at least bring this down a little bit more this way. It sticks out further than I planned to. Definitely a mistake on my part there. So first things first is, how's it going to connect to the truck? It'd be this connector with the D-sub on the other side. So the D-sub just plugs in, and this is the bare minimum I need to get it working. There are some more connections I got to wire, but for now, bare minimum of what we want to test. This is the connection here. As you can see, I mislabeled the numbering on here, and so I connected up wrong at first. Yeah, the numbering's backwards on this connector. So pin 1 on the board is really pin like 15 or whatever. So yeah, I got the numbering wrong in the schematic versus what it actually is on the board. But not a big deal. Just flip around the connector. So, well, rewire the connector. So yeah, and these are sent by Amarillo Cluster Repair. He actually sent them way back when I was doing this project, he sent me these to wire ends. That's what I was talking about. The connector is just so much better than stuffing wires in the board and soldering them to the board itself. It's a lot less tedious to put them on the connector and then connect the connector than trying to get your wires right like that. This is definitely better because you also don't have that fracture point in the board, where on this you just have a connector to repair, so you don't actually have to take it apart and get in there to fix it if something breaks. You just have a nice D-sub. These are very commonly used in aerospace, actually, as cheap of a connector as it is. You'll see these pretty regularly in aerospace because it's a keyed connector that actually can support pretty decent current through it. So yeah, definitely how I'm going to go about this. So you have your main connector that goes to the truck plugs in, and then this connects to the instrument cluster. So this is kind of the bare minimum we need to check it. We can go ahead and actually hook up an instrument cluster here and check it out. All right, so let's take a look at the instrument cluster. This is the 9902 instrument cluster. We're first just going to check it so that way you can see how this cable harness is working. So Amarillo Cluster Repair sent me a custom harness. I requested to have a potentiometer on there for the oil pressure, so that way I can actually like set one of these up and verify that I got the scale set correctly where I'm scaling it. And yeah, he also added a little frequency generator, a little pulse generator to test out the speedometer. I'm not doing any conversion of the speedometer. It's just a one-to-one connection, but again, nice to be able to test that. So if you want something like this, you can buy them from Amarillo Cluster Repair. Just reach out to him. I do have another giveaway that I'm going to do on a blue one of these little boxes. Expect that announcement here in the next week. I'd like to have the giveaway done kind of for the new year. So it'll be like a New Year's present to somebody. I was planning on doing it for Christmas, but things kind of got in the way of having the time. I did the first giveaway that went to somebody named Chase out in Arizona. So yeah, that first giveaway did end and get sent out. Got this next one coming up. So definitely, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that so that way you can, you know, hear about the giveaway when it happens and enter to win. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this all connected up. Apply power. We're applying 12.3 volts. And yep, we got the pulses going in, speedometer. The oil pressure is set to 40 psi. We can kind of adjust this potentiometer here and kind of get a different value. So yeah, that's you know, the instrument cluster itself kind of figures out the voltage. So, and the newer instrument clusters don't do that, so our board has to figure out the voltage and do the oil pressure. These are two things we need this board to actually do. And then on the box here, we have the ignition switch, which should turn it off, the light, which should turn off the lights, and again, with battery off and ignition on, it still shouldn't work. So you should be able to operate like so. Now we have this, which just has the bare minimum to turn on. So we have battery, comms, and ignition. There's in ground. There's no, we don't have the speedometer hooked up, so this isn't going to do anything right now, and we don't have like the lighting hooked up. So just be aware of that. So we got the box hooked up here, so it's plugged in as if it's a 99202, and we have a newer instrument cluster. So let's go ahead and hook that up. And we can see we got our scale way off on the oil pressure there, but the battery is right on. So I did the math correctly on that, but I did this wrong. And I think it's because I thought these sensors were a little bit different than they actually are. So let's see, we can adjust it though. So it is working. I just have the scale wrong. So I need to adjust that scale, and then it should work right. So yeah, we're pretty close there. We don't have this hooked up. Let's go ahead and hook up the speedometer, make sure I have it wired properly. So there we go. We're at like 50 miles an hour, which was what we were looking at on the 99-02. So scale's about right. So yeah, now I really just need to go in code and fix this so that way they match. A quick flash with the tag connect, and we should be good to go now. Okay, now the scaling is correct, and also it's no longer inverted. I had the formula backwards, so it was inverted. It was going down when it should have been going up, and also it was scaled incorrectly. So yeah, now it is working, and so yeah, let's go ahead and set that to 40 psi. And then hook back up the other instrument cluster right at 40 psi there. And so yeah, it is working now. We are kind of like close enough to start testing this in a vehicle. I'll need to finish wiring the connector here to get all the lights and everything. And again, the intent here is for the module to do any of the conversion that's necessary. So in other words, I don't want to have to go flash the PCM to do something that it wasn't doing. I don't want you to have to rewire. It's just plug and play of this instrument cluster will now work in that truck. Is the goal here. So again, you know, plug and play, no programming, that kind of deal. And I think I am at the point where I'm going to be ready to send one of these. I just need to 3D print a lid, and then I should be able to send one of these to Amarillo Cluster Repair. He's agreed to test one of these out in a vehicle. We'll see what else needs to be done. I'll probably need to send him, or at least give him, the part number for a tag connect and one of these cheap ST-Link programmers to be able to flash changes on there. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Okay, well, we're at a good point to stop on this video. And yeah, I know this isn't my typical, like, hey, here's how to fix this, or here's this design I'm working on. This is more of like a product teaser, which is exactly what it was. You know, just trying to show off what I'm working on, see what kind of interest there is in it. To give you some ideas on how long it'll take to be for sale and what the price will be. I got to get the lid 3D printed, get this thing sent out, mailed out to Amarillo Cluster Repair. We can start testing it and get an idea of if it works. If all goes well and there's no respin of the board, probably looking at having it, you know, for sale on eBay, you know, for experimental use, off-road use. Yeah, end of January, beginning of February, and somewhere around $120 to $200. You know, tariffs are kind of hitting us hard on the cost of boards, on the cost of parts, and yeah, so it's definitely it doesn't make sense to get these manufactured overseas right now, so I got to manufacture them myself, put them together. So yeah, the price is kind of up in the air due to that stuff, but I would expect somewhere between $120, $200. Nice thing is, this one's plug and play. I can save you a little bit of money, make them cheaper if you got to wire them into the truck, but I don't think you want that. You'll be cutting harnesses, doing all that, and it's just to save the like $6 on this connector and $2 on that connector. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see exactly what the interest is on this, but this is what I think will be the released product. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I got another giveaway for another one of these Amarillo Cluster Repair boxes. I have a blue one that I'm going to do a giveaway on. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that way you catch that video when I do it. I'll probably do a short to announce it and something else. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I plan on having that done again sometime in January. We'll have the giveaway like going out, so expect sometime in the next week or so to have a video announcing that giveaway, and then we will try to get that to you probably mid-January. So yeah, okay, well, I hope you guys liked the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.